Hello and welcome to this introductory video on adapt energy and solar electricity. My name is Miles Goldstone, co-founder and solar power enthusiast. Just a brief background on myself. My first role after university was working for an electrical engineering company in the UK. We were exploring ways of growing and improving the business, and we started to look into solar energy, and this lined up with my passion for sustainability. With Australia being one of the sunniest places on Earth, I thought what better place to pursue solar as a career. Shortly after, I was sponsored and working for a solar company here in Australia, and 5 years later, in 2015, I launched Adapt Energy with my business partner Paul James. During our first 5 years in the solar industry, consulting to various companies, we learned that there were many solar installers cutting corners, using cheap components, and not designing and installing their systems correctly, leading to countless issues. We knew that when solar was installed and designed correctly, it was a fantastic product that was not only cheaper for the client in the long run, but fantastic for reducing our dependency on fossil fuels, and when applied correctly, it's surely something that should be installed on every premises that requires electricity. With this in mind, we liaised, networked, and got to know some of the best installers, suppliers, and engineers in the industry who we now work with to deliver residential, commercial, and industrial solar projects to the highest standards. And our customer satisfaction levels and quality of workmanship is something that we are very proud of. The energy requirements of our modern world are constantly evolving, and up until very recently, the sun produced enough energy in a single day to supply the world's energy requirements for an entire year. Solar photovoltaics, or solar PV in short, is a technology that converts sunlight into DC electricity. We then use inverter technology to convert this to AC power, which we can use for our everyday electrical appliances. Our process is to assess the energy load profile of our client, determine if these energy requirements will be consistent in the future. We can then custom design and engineer the most suitable solar solution. We work with a number of panel manufacturers and inverter manufacturers so we can be flexible in providing the most suitable products for the application. Once we've presented the proposed system, including its energy offset potential and estimated savings, and the client is happy with the figures, we can then work with the grid provider to ensure our system integrates with the transformers and grid infrastructure and can operate as a grid-connected system. Hybrid systems with batteries are becoming more popular and could be the best solution, but due to the cost of batteries, it is generally best to utilise the roof space for grid-connected PV initially, with the view of adding batteries in the near future as technology improves and the price comes down. For every kilowatt hour of solar installed, you are offsetting approximately 1.23 tonnes of carbon dioxide. So a 100 kilowatt system over its 25-year life, you could be looking at over 3,000 tonnes of CO2 offset. That's the equivalent of around 45,000 trees planted. Just to help you visualize a 100 kilowatt system, it's around 300 panels. The number of panels required to achieve 100 kilowatt is reducing all the time as panel efficiencies are improved. A typical residential system is now around 10 kilowatts or 30 panels, but many households are seeing the value in installing larger systems to offset even more carbon and potentially make money from selling power back to the grid. There are also federal government programs which bring the cost of solar down and contribute to the financial appeal for clients, including the STC and LGC programs. The STC scheme is like an upfront rebate. This applies to systems up to 100 kilowatts in capacity. The second government program is referred to as the LGC program, and it is designed for systems greater than 100 kilowatts in capacity. Instead of an upfront rebate, the client would receive annual payments based on the amounts of renewable energy produced from the solar system for the previous year, and this is valid up until 2030. In terms of the financial benefit, solar is now far cheaper than grid power. For solar power, your levelized cost of energy is effectively somewhere between just 3 to 4 cents per kilowatt hour over the system's 25-year life. With network charges, grid power will generally cost between 20 to 30 cents per kilowatt hour. This means we are paying approximately 500% more for dirty power than we could be paying for cleaner, renewable energy. If you have capital to invest, our clients are typically achieving 20 to 30% return on their money, but this can vary between 14 to 40% depending on the application. If you would rather not invest the capital up front, we have industry-leading finance partners providing green loans, lease-to-own or chattel mortgage arrangements, which often allow our clients to save more than the repayments, leaving them in front from day one and putting them in a cash flow positive position. Well, that's it from me for now, so thanks so much for listening. Feel free to contact us for further information, and let's take on this climate crisis together.